On the right is the most disrespectful fighter in MMA. He shows the middle finger and then knocks out his opponent. On the left is the complete opposite, respect before the fight and a spectacular knockout. You might be surprised, but this is the same person. At some point in his life, Ren Hiramoto woke up with blonde hair, a skull tattoo on his chest, and a desire to destroy everyone in the world of martial arts, which he essentially managed to do. But what's surprising is that since childhood, he was a shy guy who was even bullied at school. The situation became so bad that his parents had to send him to a martial arts gym just so he could gain some confidence. There he lost to a girl and to everyone else, but surprisingly, after such embarrassment, he didn't quit. He had no friends at school, so releasing his anger from bullying in the boxing gym became his main therapy. Despite the bad start, he began progressing very quickly in striking. To many people's surprise, he became so good that he was put in sparring sessions with Japan's best kickboxer, Tenshin Nasukawa. It seemed like the life of a loser school kid was behind him. However, Ren Hiramoto is quite a strange guy. He never forgot the bullying, and at some point he only attended school to lure his bullies into situations where they would have to fight him. He beat every single person who had bullied him, and after that he successfully became a professional fighter. Yes, you heard that right. While still in school, he became a professional fighter, which means that from the age of 15 he was fighting grown men. At that stage of his career, he stood out for his respectfulness and calm personality. However, as you saw at the beginning of the video, at some point he would completely change and become the biggest troublemaker in MMA. A personality that would even attract the attention of Conor McGregor. So keep in mind that right now you're looking at a calm, respectful guy who has demons boiling inside his head, and at some point he will completely transform. It's important to understand that Hiramoto is truly an exceptional talent. At just 12 years old, he had already won every possible amateur boxing and kickboxing tournament in Japan. He was preparing to pursue boxing and eventually compete in the Olympic Games. But when he learned that the K1 Kickboxing League was returning, he decided that kickboxing suited him more and entered an amateur K1 tournament. Still underage and wearing red and white shorts, Ren showed no nerves in his pro debut. From the opening seconds, he demonstrated the power of his right straight. The referee began a standing count due to the unanswered blows. The opponent managed to recover, but maybe he shouldn't have. Ren was ready to turn off his lights and did exactly that with a powerful left hook. At his first pro fight, he fought on the main K1 card and won by KO with a left hook in the first round. He said the fight purse was only 50,000 yen, about $300. 3 months later, Ren Hiramoto returned to the ring. His opponent was Yuki Izuka, who immediately opened with low kicks. But Ren used a different strategy this time, focusing on kicks instead of punches. But the opponent didn't take the hint and kept charging forward. So Hiramoto punished him and scored a knockdown. The opponent got up and kept coming and was brutally knocked out. Ren Hiramoto secured his second consecutive first-round knockout, but he had no intention of slowing down. 2 months later, Ren returned to the ring to face Yohei Noguchi. Hiramoto immediately stunned his opponent with a high kick in the opening seconds, then followed up with a knockdown. As soon as Noguchi got back to his feet, Ren began unloading kicks on him, then added punching combinations. Hiramoto landed a solid combo that visibly shook his opponent. Seeing this, Ren went all out, trying to finish the fight. The volume and accuracy of his strikes were so intense that the referee gave a standing count. Although Noguchi managed to recover, Ren wasn't planning on waiting. He continued his assault. The opponent was flying around the ring, barely staying on his feet. Even at the end of the round, Hiramoto kept up the pressure, landing shots with the intention of ending his third career fight with a third straight first-round knockout. But Noguchi survived into round 2, which Ren opened with a kick and aggressive combinations. Noguchi tried to counter Ren's low kick, but Hiramoto was ready and responded with a combination. The opponent got back up and both fighters exchanged heavy blows near the end of the round. But Noguchi absorbed everything and stayed standing. In the end, it was a masterclass. Multiple knockdowns, total domination, but the opponent managed to survive until the final bell. It was Ren's first win by decision, but still an incredibly exciting performance. Ren did not slow down and returned to the ring in the very first month of 2016 against Yoshiki Harada. This time, however, he fought not at 145 pounds, but at 135 pounds. Ren started the fight with a fast, sharp jab, then added a combination, one of the strikes landing low between Yoshiki's legs. After the fight resumed, Hiramoto anticipated his opponent's low kicks and countered them with boxing combinations. In a tough exchange, Ren knocked his opponent down. But the referee strangely told them to continue, and Hiramoto kept beating him. The opponent continued trying to land low kicks, which Hiramoto countered with combinations, one of which knocked him down. Yoshiki managed to continue fighting, and Ren decided to pick up where they left off. A powerful strike followed by a taunt from usually respectful Hiramoto. The opponent was almost finished, but the round ended. At the start of the second round, the opponent tried to rush at Ren head first and paid for it. Frustrated, Yoshiki threw another low kick, which Ren countered with a hard strike that sent him to the canvas. The opponent got back up, but was pushed behind the ropes. In his new weight class, Ren showed he retained his power and speed, which led him to victory. The fight took place on March 20th, 2016, against Taito. Ren immediately pressured with jabs and low kicks, then decided to dance briefly before continuing the offense. Ren finished the round with a jumping knee just as the bell rang. The second round started with an exchange. After a couple of exchanges, Ren scored a knockdown. The opponent got up, but Hiramoto immediately began finishing him off. After such a bright second round, Ren slowed in the third, but towards the end, he managed to send the opponent to the canvas once more. Hiramoto confidently won by judges' decision on February 25th, 2017. Ren moved up to the previous weight class of 145 pounds, where he faced Bryce Del Valle. The opponent started the fight immediately with a teep kick. Strong 1-2 combination from Ren, another strong 1-2 from Hiramoto. The opponent throws a combination of kicks, but Ren responds with a straight punch, back fist and kick from the opponent, but everything misses. Then the first serious exchanges in the fight begin.
You can land a big shot. Oh, wow.
The opponent tried to finish the round with a knee, but ended up eating a combination of strikes and went to rest. By the third round, the opponent was noticeably tired, and Ren started pressuring him and firing a variety of combinations.
More definitive win with the judges, so we need some big shots here.
Missing off the back foot a little bit there. Somewhat effectively, but getting stuck on the ropes, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Not the most spectacular fight in Hiramoto's career, but a confident victory and advancement to the tournament semifinals. It's worth noting that this was a one-day tournament, meaning just a couple hours later, Hiramoto had to return to the ring to face the incredibly experienced Kongnapa Wirasakrek. The fighters immediately engaged in a tough exchange that led to the first knockdown.
I'm right back at it. getting that front leg. Ooh, okay.
You know what Hiramoto Ren has got to realize, and that's why he's doing this, he's got to just step in to that kick in through the kicking ring.
Oh, every day.
The opponent quickly got back up and pressed forward, but Ren was unstoppable. After a prolonged mutual exchange, he finished his opponent.
Ever have right now.
And for everybody watching, remember that Ren had a fight before this one, and his stamina is still top-notch.
Wow. What a breakaway.
Considering Ren was only 18 years old, he had already achieved a lot in the sport. In June 2017, he gave motivational lectures at 5 junior high schools, sharing the importance of dreams. He said he tried to speak from a student's perspective, hoping his message would resonate. In June 2017, Ren met Chechen kickboxer Umar Paskayev. For this fight, Hiramoto approached differently. While in recent fights, he often worked as the second fighter and moved a lot. In this fight, he forced the pace and pressed the opponent. Ren caught his opponent with a hook to the body and unloaded a machine gun-like flurry.
Great job of going to the body.
Nice body shots, man. Wow.
Hiramoto pushed the opponent with a kick to the ropes and continued beating him with punches.
Hiramoto Ren is looking sharp
Oh
as
man,
can be right now.
he is.
The Chechen landed a good overhand, but Hiramoto quickly counterattacked. The Japanese pushed the opponent with kicks to the corner and beat him up. The opponent tried to surprise Ren with spinning strikes, but Hiramoto did not let up his pressure. The third round went like the previous two. Ren pursued and beat his opponent while he tried to avoid exchanges. Because of this fight pattern, Hiramoto confidently won by judges' decision. At 18 years old and with spectacular wins, Ren was gradually becoming a star, which is why in July he appeared on Abema TV's reality show Minatsu no Ukabi-kun wa Damisore Nai and started dating Aina Nakano. According to Aina, her happiest moment was catching a cold and Hiramoto surprising her with homemade rice porridge. Even during fights, he always apologized first. He was a great boyfriend. On November 23, 2017, Ren Hiramoto faced one of the best kickboxers in the world, Daiso Sasaki. The tension was palpable even at the face-off, where neither fighter could land a glove touch on the other. The fighters start the fight with mutual exchanges. Ren quickly stuns his opponent with an overhand, an incredibly fast combination from Hiramoto. The fighters exchange kicks, but the opponent decides to add a couple of punches. Ren lands incredibly powerful jabs, a strong hook to the body from Ren, followed by a combination to the head. In the second round, Hiramoto immediately begins to press the opponent against the ropes. A powerful straight stuns the opponent, and Hiramoto rushes to finish him.
For the days there,
Yes.
big points for Hiramoto.
Ooh, man.
Phased it.
Yes, he did. Daiso got dazed, man, no doubt.
Daiso Sasaki does not fall and tries to counterattack, but the initiative remains with Ren. A strong exchange from both fighters lasts almost until the end of the round.
Eating a little too much
Yeah, oh yeah,
from
that uppercut.
Sasaki here now.
Yeah, he's eating uppercut.
Taking too many shots.
The points aside, those will disorient you.
Oh, yeah. Wow. 3 uppercuts, 4 uppercuts there.
Losing some points there.
Great series from Sasaki.
Sasaki comes out for the third round extremely fired up. But Ren's response is quick. Ren wins the exchange, which helps him take the third round, a round he was clearly losing before.
Ooh.
Daiso gets up, but Hiramoto doesn't let him go, even though there are only 10 seconds left in the fight. Ren manages to send his opponent to the canvas once again.
Big shots, but Ren, oh, wow. What a win. I'm calling it.
Fabulous.
I'm calling it. What a win.
Ren Hiramoto confidently won the first 2 rounds, and in the third, he made a comeback with 2 knockdowns, winning every round of this fight. The judges agreed and gave the correct verdict, awarding the victory to Ren Hiramoto. In 2018, Hiramoto faced the veteran Kyu Wirasakrek. Starting from this fight, Ren's image began to change drastically, and very soon he became the main bad boy of all Japan and MMA. Ren started the fight with a high kick, after which a mutual exchange began. Hiramoto stuns his opponent on counterattacks. Ren finished the round by beating the opponent against the ropes, and after the bell rang, he raised his hand and went to his corner.
Ooh, really letting he's going here. He must smell some blood. He must feel like he's got Hiramoto maybe a little bit hurt.
Yeah.
Great composure from the young fighter.
Yeah.
The second round was dominated by Ren, who knocked out his opponent cold during an exchange.
Ooh, big. Oh! Done. It's the KO win.
After this victory, he considered retiring, but the thrill reignited his passion. He believed MMA was the true path to becoming the world's strongest. No one in Japanese kickboxing had successfully transitioned to MMA, so he wanted to be the first. In late 2018, he stopped fighting in K1 and waited out his contract. In 2019, his life changed dramatically. On August 15th, he broke up with Reina Nakano. In October, he launched a streetwear brand and opened a bar called Kira Bar in his hometown. In December, he signed with Rizin and fought Takehiro Ashida under kickboxing rules at Bellator Japan. It was immediately noticeable that his already iconic hair color was now complemented by a new tattoo on his chest. Ren's transformation into a wild, bad boy fighter continued. Hiramoto started the fight by rushing in with a high kick. Ren's style fits better in cages than rings. There, he can pressure and beat his opponent without worrying about him falling out of the ropes. One left hook was enough to knock the opponent down. Despite the damage and cuts, the opponent continued fighting, but not for long. The second knockdown came quickly. It might seem that Ren doesn't hit much, but Takehiro's entire face was destroyed with cuts and bruises. A couple more strikes, and the opponent couldn't get up. On such a bright note, Ren ended his kickboxing career and decided to focus on MMA. Despite the victory, don't forget about Hiramoto's young age. In spring 2020, despite repeating grades 6 times, he finally graduated high school. Hard to believe he was still a student. Around April 2020, he began feuding online with Mikuru Asakura. He also trash-talked fighters like Kazuhiro Kiyohara, Ryo Fukama, and Daiki Takeshi, creating buzz. His past achievements and style attracted renewed attention, and Ren Hiramoto's value soared. It's hard to say for sure, but breaking up with his girlfriend, trying to bury himself in other activities, and switching sports disciplines was probably too much for the young Hiramoto's nervous system. It almost feels like, in an attempt to answer fate, he decided to become the very thing he hated as a child. On December 31st, 2020, at Rizin 26, he made his MMA debut against Joji Hagiwara. Trash talk started even before the match. This rivalry and fight build-up made Ren Hiramoto who we know today. Ren started the fight expecting a takedown from his opponent, who anticipated Ren's mindset. So he slipped in an overhand and then took Ren down. Ren managed to block it. While Ren was throwing a low kick, the opponent attempted an Imanari roll. Hiramoto decided to defend with strikes, but over time, attacking instead of defending caused him to end up on his back. Ren finally gets back on his feet, but not for long. The opponent locked him with a tight grip and managed to take him down again. But Hiramoto didn't give up. He got back up again. He immediately tried to strike instead of breaking the opponent's grip, which led to another takedown. Ren got on top, landed a few strikes, and returned to his feet. But again, instead of stopping leg attacks, he kept throwing strikes and got taken down again. That's how the first round ended. In the second round, Ren immediately lands a left hook on his opponent, a powerful hook from Hiramoto to the opponent's body. The opponent quickly finds a way into the clinch and starts to pressure Ren. Hagiwara executes a sweep and takes a takedown. He eventually climbs into mount and starts landing strikes. Ren had a chance to avoid this position, but his corner threw in the towel, stopping the fight. After the fight, Hagiwara said, "Thanks for all the hype. I'm taking it from here." Back in the locker room, Hiramoto was devastated. He thought, "I really messed up," but he used it as fuel. He realized his mindset was flawed and vowed to improve. Even the pride he carried from K1 was broken. He later said, "I broke myself down, and I kind of liked it." He went to train in the US at Rufusport. His striking was praised. He even cornered Sergio Pettis during his Bellator title win over Kyoji Horiguchi, helping devise the winning strategy. Ren Hiramoto spent 2 years training in MMA and working on himself as a person. On March 6, 2022, at Rizin Landmark 2, he faced Chihiro Suzuki. In this fight, he dropped weight from 150 pounds to 145. Ren immediately started the fight very aggressively. He landed multiple strikes on his opponent and pressed forward, defended a takedown attempt, and initiated a clinch himself. The opponent tried to push forward, but Hiramoto stunned him. During exchanges, Ren felt so confident that he momentarily forgot MMA includes grappling and got taken down by a beautiful throw. Hiramoto returned to his feet, stunned his opponent, but as he tried to finish him off, the first round ended. The excitement of the fight ended in the first round. In the second and third rounds, the opponent just initiated clinches and stood waiting for the fight to end. Because of this, the judges scored the fight 1-2 in favor of Chihiro Suzuki. After the fight, Hiramoto said, "I lost, but I didn't really lose." The comment stirred critics and energized fans. It's understandable since essentially he lost because the opponent didn't want to fight. Despite a 0-2 MMA record on July 2, 2022 at Rizin 36, Ren took the main event spot after Kai Asakura withdrew. He fought Hiroaki Suzuki. Surprisingly, Ren's first MMA victory is nowhere to be found online. Only photos exist. However, it's known that after the fight he said, "MMA isn't easy, Suzuki-kun. You should probably start over in the amateur leagues. Tenjin's era is over. The Asakura brothers' era is over. It's Ren Hiramoto's era now. Thank you." Unexpectedly, after his first MMA win, Ren decided to try boxing against Genji Umeno, a kickboxer with 52 wins and undefeated in MMA. Even during the stare-down, the fight escalated crazily as the fighters' teams began provoking each other. Then Ren's corner showed the middle finger to the opponent and his team. The situation got so strange that even Ren had to calm down his own team. Ren, with no respect and hands down, walked straight at his opponent and landed a clean shot. Hiramoto casually landed strikes on his opponent and then taunted him. Despite Ren's seemingly light punches, the opponent already had a cut and half his face was red. In all exchanges, Ren came out the winner. Hiramoto landed a solid 1-2 combination, followed by a hook and another hook that clearly stunned the opponent. Ren casually walked toward the opponent and knocked him out cold. The knockout was so brutal that Ren went over to check if his opponent was alive. After a successful boxing debut, Ren decided to return to MMA and continue his winning streak. In November 2022, Ren faced Satoshi Yamasu under MMA rules, an experienced fighter and former champion with a winning streak. Before the fight, Ren showed his mindset. He first bowed respectfully to his opponent and then gave him the middle finger. That's Ren Hiramoto in a nutshell. At the start, the opponent immediately landed a low kick and dropped Ren, but he quickly got up and as he returned, landed a strike that sent the opponent down. The opponent tried a leg takedown, but Ren immediately noticed and landed a 1-2, pushing the opponent back, stunning him again, and almost finishing with a soccer kick. Satoshi Yamasu charged at Ren but was immediately countered and sent down. I remind you, Satoshi's nickname is the Dominator. While the opponent was getting up, Ren imitated Rock Lee from Naruto. The opponent tried another takedown, but Ren showed good defense, blocked it, and went for a counter finish. The round ended there. second round was similar to the first. The opponent tried takedowns in fear but got hit in the head and then punished on the ground by Ren. Years of training at Rufusport paid off for Hiramoto. It looked like Ren was about to finish the opponent, but Satoshi, like a professional cockroach, refused to die and survived with all his strength. The third round repeated the previous two. Every hit from Hiramoto sent the opponent down. By the end, the opponent's face was completely broken, bloody, and cut. Ren continued his MMA journey now with a second consecutive victory. Hiramoto quickly returned to the ring against YA-Man, an experienced kickboxer and undefeated MMA fighter at the time. His opponent opened with a fast attack, but Ren calmly slipped out of danger. Hiramoto lands a precise 1-2 combo and punishes the opponent in the clinch. Then he smartly pushes him against the ropes and gets the takedown. Solid progress in his offensive grappling. The opponent tries to pressure Hiramoto but eats counter after counter. Toward the end of the round, both fighters exchange, but Ren lands the cleaner, heavier shots. Ren opens the second round with a blitz and gets another takedown. Hiramoto unloads a machine gun flurry on his opponent. Clean, straight, and angle off from Ren. Ren lands another solid takedown toward the end of the round. The third round starts with a knee to the body and a straight off the angle from Hiramoto. Ren counters YA-Man's combo with a takedown. Heavy shots from Hiramoto. That's how the third round ended. It's not hard to guess that Ren Hiramoto scored a confident win and showed clear progress in grappling. But now the biggest challenge of his MMA career was ahead. In past interviews, Ren had repeatedly made harsh comments about the Asakura brothers. Kai Asakura is now fighting in the UFC, while his brother Mikuru remains in Rizin. However, there's a long-standing narrative in Japanese media about the Asakura era in MMA, with both brothers dominating in different weight classes and organizations. This annoyed Ren, who challenged Mikuru Asakura directly. On July 28, 2024, Ren Hiramoto faced Mikuru Asakura for the Rizin Last Man Standing title, something like the UFC's BMF belt. A wild war was expected, and fans were eager to watch the fight. Hiramoto upgraded his signature pre-fight gesture by not just flipping off his opponent, but walking right up into his face while doing it. Both fighters start cautiously, throwing almost nothing, aware of each other's power. At some point, Ren got tired of waiting and being careful. He pushed the pace, forcing action and aiming to end this grudge match quickly. That's how Ren Hiramoto won the Last Man Standing title and closed out 2024 on a high note. In 2025, he didn't fight, but said on Instagram that he's aiming to return in 2026 with at least 3 fights, all won by knockout. Maybe Ren's MMA record isn't the most impressive, but to be fair, a couple of decisions were controversial. Plus, he was thrown in against high-level opponents early on, and lack of experience played a role in his losses. Still, you can't deny his talent, excitement, and ability to entertain. If you're watching a Ren Hiramoto fight, you're guaranteed fireworks, wild exchanges, and brutal knockouts. That's why, despite his record, he remains one of the biggest martial arts stars in Asia. UFC superstars like Conor McGregor and Sean O'Malley even visited Japan to meet him and collaborate on cross-promotional content. What do you think of Ren Hiramoto? Do you think he could make a name for himself in the UFC?